Okay, guys, we are going into game number 4, the last game of the day. Looks like everything is good to go. I have remembered to show you my stream this time. Let me bring up the Twitch chat too. Okay, guys. And so here we are, spotting at the top left-hand corner. We will have a Zerg player, mpasteven. We've already seen 3 TVTs today, so it's really refreshing to see a Zerg player come into play. Now at the top right-hand corner, we are going to see the Terran player, LetaBot, who will be commanding this, yes, the Terran force, the UED, the Confederate, whatever part of the campaign he decides that he wants to be. We do have the Terran over here. So I am getting claims that there is going to be a lot of high latency in this game. And of course there's going to be high latency in this game. You're playing versus Zerg. You know, other things to mention. Yeah, we're looking at mpasteven over here at the left, who is a D-level player. And we're going to see possibly a different strategy than we've seen in the previous games. That's possible. Alright, the Overlord already scouting in the correct direction here. You know, one of the best AI bots in StarCraft 1 history, I believe it, what was it, like a Crazy Zerg or something? The one who employed the Mutalisk build and basically learned how to micro individual Mutalisks. And if you actually have that high of an APM, instead of clumping mutas, you have the mutas attack individually and spread out very, very, like, evenly, and then they constantly go in and attack the same way we were watching the vultures from the Iron Bot, and so you can do a lot with Zerg, but maybe Terran AI has just come as like maybe the strongest race to code with, or maybe it's just more familiar because you're coding with humans. SCV going to be scouting down to the bottom right. We've got the Overlord getting there very shortly here. Another Overlord scouting towards the middle of the map, and the spawning pole coming down first. So we're seeing a 12 pool, well, and yeah, 12 pool hatch build inside the main base here. I'm not sure what mpasteven is going to be going for here, because generally you are going to take your second hatchery inside the natural base. This isn't like this isn't another bot that we're looking at here. Okay, and building a creep colony here too. His 59 level APM, and we're not going to make fun of the fact that this is a D-level player. So obviously someone who, like me, would take the game less seriously and just kind of go for some simple strategies earlier on. And maybe he's just kind of mind-gamed out against the fact that there is a bot that he's playing against. And the bot can have some pretty high level APM. Oh my god! Look at this! There's SCV glitching on the map here, and there's nothing getting off the ramp. LetaBot, what's going on? Oh no! This is really bad. So, yeah, LetaBot pointing out that there maybe he was afraid of like a BBS strategy. But the problem is, you know, you just got to be more confident than that's not going to happen and rely on scouting to get past it. And honestly, I never care what my opponent is doing. I kind of just pick a preordained strategy that I know works and just go with it. Because yay, D-level strategy. When you're at a D-level too, just pick a strategy that you think is fun, that you enjoy to do. And if you win with it, then more power to you because it's a lot of fun. If you're trying to take it more seriously though, obviously you've got to get on the Wikipedia and start getting it together. So we are seeing that command center coming up, a second barracks on the way, and possibly just going to be a bio game with an expansion here for LetaBot, who's got a nice set of Marines, looking at 7 already on the map. And I love that we're seeing that just this one base play is continuing to thrive here with a ton of sunken colonies. So, you know, mpasteven is going to be completely safe in this position. At this point though, you know, if he hadn't built all 3 of these, and if he at least built the creep colonies but not morphed them and kept the scout out here, then he could have actually built a 3rd hatchery, which is really important to have at this time because no one likes having very slow larva production. And by getting the additional hatchery, you can get that additional larva. So the Hydralisk Den is probably waiting for maybe the lurker upgrade to be available, which is going to happen once the lair does complete. Meanwhile, the command center are going to be moving over toward this natural base with 2 barracks production here, academy on the way, and I just love that this is going to be a really strong eco game for LetaBot going forward. Okay, so LetaBot is saying that there wasn't any glitching, but that was for protecting from the lings from being able to get onto the ramp. I just thought it was an oddly high amount of SCVs, so I didn't know if there was going to be a bot, if it was like some sort of bot glitch. The StarCraft 1 just crap Blizzard AI glitch here, where things get stuck, or if it was a defense like that. So I prejudged, and I apologize. LetaBot saying that was not an issue here. Meanwhile, let's click on here. No lurker upgrade on the way. Another sunken colony though. And you know, if air happened to come along, there's evolution chambers here, obviously, but if for some reason there was an air attack and a rush to raids, then we would see that mpasteven would be in a lot of trouble because he has a lot of sunken colonies but no spores. One more creep colony on the way here, and a few lings and Hydralisk to help defend against anything. But still, I mean, mpasteven is building himself up way too much in this main base. You can obviously that is going to be a problem here. More production coming from these command centers too, and the Marines are actually just kind of running rampant inside of this natural base. It's not actually affecting anything. You know, the SCVs just kind of do their own thing regardless of the fact that the Marines are in their path, because when they're on the mining path, they can just kind of glide through their own units here. And another refinery is going to be coming down. I believe that we do have that one mining fully right now. The range upgrade coming down for these Marines, which is really good. And he's got a couple here inside the main base too. So maximum protection in the main and the natural base. And the engineering bay timing leads me to believe that, yeah. So LetaBot has thought well out these timings for ZVT AI to say, I'm going to need the range, I'm going to need a decent amount of Marines, and now turrets to make sure that if I'm playing against an opponent that's going to bring a 2-base Spire build, that I will be properly defended. And so the AI spread out really nicely here, and I think that LetaBot, obviously, even against a C-level player with, you know, muted ZVT, would still have some trouble dealing with the defense that LetaBot is employing right now. Let's go back to this base. We see that the carapace upgrade is underway. A spore colony finally has been built in 2 key locations now, and another sunken colony. I mean, if he does this enough, his units won't even be able to escape. He's gonna like completely block in some of the bigger units like the Hydralisk. Oh, please just go straight to Hive off one base. This is even better. Oh, yes, we are seeing Hive straight up, guys. Why not? This is going to be a pure one-base ultra build. I'm feeling it. And if he does, and he traps his units in, then at least on Hive, he can build a Nidus, like, in the middle here, and then a Nidus here to get his units out. A very passive game compared to the TVTs, which is rather ironic since ZVT is a more aggressive game than TVTs. But because of the way the AI works in TVTs, you know, a lot of vulture action in the beginning here. This is a huge force. And this is like Mind against any second tier Zerg player, where Mind is a great Terran player and always has way more Marines in the early game than as an average Zerg player can handle. And then he ends up winning very early on. Doesn't really have to try in that ZVT matchup. The tank coming in here too, and I wonder if we're going to see as soon as a second tank comes out, and obviously the Science Missile attack on the way too. But maybe as soon as another tank does come out here, we could see a possible push. Because that's generally what the typical TVZ meta is having the bio with 2 tanks push out. And with no damage here, you're going to actually see the maximum amount of units that you would see from this 2-tank bio push. Meanwhile, looking here, this is probably like one of the fastest Hive builds I've ever seen. And we're looking at 10-minute Hive. And the super upgrade for the Zergling is going to be on the way too. So maybe because Steven has been able to get all of these Zerglings with their maximum upgrades, that they're just gonna be super killer here. So we are seeing the Carapace upgrade on the way. Is that the first one still? No, it's gonna be number 2. So +2 Carapace and a ton of Zerglings moving out right now to try and take the map. Meanwhile, yes, it's true, we have 1 tank, there should be another here, 2 tanks, a ton of bio forces here, and they will be pushing out to try and deal with this. A stim already going down here. Actually, really nice stims so far. They wait until they get into vision of the units before they stim out. The siege tanks coming up into their siege mode just in time to deal with those Zergling forces. So this is a huge force, and the bot's probably himself surprised that he's going into this natural base and not seeing anything. But we'll have a free walk up into this base. But how well is it going to get defended here? Can mpasteven defend this base with all the sunken colonies that he has? Using his units at the front, this is going to be really dangerous here. But he's actually killing off quite a bit. No way, mpasteven, you're the bomb here. More Marines though are going to be coming in here as they stim inside and push back some of the forces. Another tank kill! Really good job from mpasteven. And he's got all these sunken colonies to help him defend here. Oh, look at all the medics here. That's not going to be enough. What are they going to do? Just constantly heal each other right now while there's a tank defending in the back. These science vessels, where are they going though? Seem to be doing a loop-de-doop around the map, but need to stay towards the front. Yeah, many issues here with the latency problems as the tanks siege up one more time. And the Zerglings are going to eliminate those tanks once more. The Marines are going to push forward, and they're going to die very quickly to the amount of sunken colonies that are here. Oh, poor medics going to be doing their flashlight healing as they take so much damage here. They won't be able to outlast. Now, here's the problem with the AI at this point, is that everything is streaming at such a spread out line that unless they can gather one more time, they're going to die off really quickly here. Oh! We're seeing a Radiate go down though. So a Radiate being employed by these science vessels here as they continue to rock back and forth again one more time. So mpasteven has found himself in a lucky position of, well, I built so much defense, the caster made fun of me for it, but it's working out perfectly. And I'm going to have to give mpasteven all the props for being able to survive this AI so far. So let's go ahead and look. LetaBot expands towards the 3 o'clock location. Gonna also expand towards the 12 o'clock. So really double expanding at this time. Well, this command center is done. So expanding 1 at a time, but really taking 2 more bases as he does continue forward here. 105 supply to 27 supply. And mpasteven, with all his brilliantness, is going to be in a lot of trouble because these mineral fields are getting quite low. He probably doesn't have more than 2,500 to 3,000 minerals available to him at this point in the game. And we're seeing at 7,500 APM, unfortunately, he's still not able to quickly eliminate his opponent because there's no gathering portion of this AI. And look at this, the siege tank going into siege mode again. One of those issues one more time where just the siege tank is sieging up and not playing very smartly against these Zerglings, which is really unfortunately. And I'm actually hearing that mpasteven is coming from Australia here, which is one of the reasons why there's latency problems. If people think, well, you're a bot, then how can there be latency problems? But sometimes there are almost more latency problems coming in with having a bot, because the bot is trying to read things in out of, and their update loop needs to happen at a certain amount. And when these frames are starting to stutter out, or where these actions can't be commanded at the proper amount, then you start to run into some trouble. When you see latency as a human player, you can start to think like, okay, I know that with my lag, if I click up here, that my unit may not get there, and so I click down here in anticipation to pull the unit back. So when I expected them to be here, instead they glitched out into here because I did not bring them back in time. So that's definitely one of the major problems here. And of course we're not seeing the lag because we're watching from perfect replay style here. Oh! Oh! We're seeing Burrow! This is just non-stop brilliance here. These two Zerglings continue to move forward, getting its kills off, but the Marine does survive finally here. And more sunken colonies have been built up. But what's the game plan? You know, only one unit down here, it's a Zergling. If there was a drone out here, mpasteven would be in a pretty decent spot because he would be able to expand. You know, the one thing that LetaBot could actually do with these two science vessels is go for the magic eraser, but he's gonna need to get his siege tanks in a position where he could focus down that spore colony first before going into the magic eraser strategy. Of course, all this is really, really like difficult advanced level type logic. You can't just like code into your state machine. If spore colony in really bad position, then kill with tank first, then move and science vessels. You can't really code a state machine to do that. You have to really think high level, position, you know, unit composition, map choice, how your strategy is going to work from there. You can do simple things like when you see unit stem, that's a little bit different here. That's a much easier thing to comprehend. You can do unit distance, you can do anticipation like that, but you really can't get any more detailed because you just have like a 20,000 line state machine that really, it still doesn't take every case into scenario. And when do you use your like heuristic settings to try and prioritize one state over the other? Which is one of the reasons why I don't end up coding AI bots for StarCraft 1, because I really try and like overanalyze the situation, and my code gets really like too nitty gritty, and I can't get past that point where I can't just say, you know, identify base and attack. And probably this is why LetaBot is very successful. He can think really good at these high level strategies and make them work for his bots, and it works out really well for him. Look at this, a middle of the map command center. And the Zerglings are actually going to probably take it out. So one more base eliminated here. But here's the elephant in the room. Not many minerals are left. He's going to be losing them very shortly here. And he while he does have a 1,000 mineral bank, he won't be able to survive the onslaught here. This is going to end for him fairly shortly, I would say, in relativeness to this game here. Floating at 17 minutes, we are going towards our longest active game. Obviously, I think maybe some of the other games went longer just because of the no GG, but that's a little bit different here. More suicidal medics, though. How many mechs have been lost in this game? RIP. We're looking at 130 supply for LetaBot, but the Ling only strategy is actually rather beautiful. The one thing that really gets me, and it's hilarious, is that Irradiate is too fast for Zerglings. And when they get irradiated, the Lings just die automatically right away. And so it's not making massive use out of these spells. It's not the most optimal way to use the science vessels. But what else can they irradiate? There's nothing else really. Okay, the final, no, 2 mineral patches left. And then mpasteven won't be able to do anything else in this game. Meanwhile, great mining over here, great mining over here. Just looking really solid. And once these Lings are taken out, he's not going to be able to do anything else. Well, once it goes through the bank too. There we go. Just needed to clear up my voice for a second here. I've been doing more casting than I ever have lately. Casted Thursday, casted yesterday, doing my cast today. I'm really loving it though. Thank you guys for being able to join in on these casts. It's been quite a pleasure here. This Man vs. Machine Tour, which is obviously casted by Star Apple, or sponsored by Star Apple. Really awesome tournament for us to be in here. And I think that we will be winding down on game number 4 as it's getting towards its end. Now the Lynx are going to be pushing forward, and one more time, a few Hydras here. But look at this! No way! A hatchery being built. MPA Steve growing a set of cojones here and going for a new base, trying to say it's time for us to have a vacation home. Let's get down this ramp and take this extra expansion here. And finally, he's going to have to bring all those SCVs that he had been using here. Actually, only drones. Only 14 of them over towards this natural base to start long-distance mining. Meanwhile, the SCVs being brought out here too to help repair these tanks is actually going to help be very useful. It's kind of like what medics do with Marines, where they can make a wall and just constantly heal each other, and it makes it hard for Zerglings to engage. But the SCV is coming in here to actually help attack instead. Wait, we got one SCV with a kill here. We're going to follow this hero SCV story all the way here. And when is it going to die? Oh, unfortunately, it doesn't get another kill. More Lynx pushing down and towards this natural base, and this is the kind of non-stop constant action that we wanted to see between man versus machine. The ZVT is getting actually quite exciting here. Another tank getting taken out. The tanks are just going into the recycling bin instantly here. Another wasted irradiate, which is just by the nature of Lynx being terribly low at health, regardless of the fact that they have +2/+2. So really killer Lynx. And let's take a look at the upgrades. So we'll see 1-1 for the Marines. And for the tank, no mech upgrades. Some armor upgrades would be really nice for these tanks to at least deal with the fact that there's such a high damage outpoint from these Zerglings here. And they're constantly killing off everything as they go. Yeah, are we going to see any more Lynx? Definitely with this extra hatchery, the Lynx are going to be produced from these larvae too. And he is out. MPA Steven is out of minerals though. He is doing it by the patch, basically, as they get slowly brought in. He continues to build more Zerglings. Right now, sitting only at 23 Zerglings. To re-macro here is going to be way too strong. Let's look inside this base and get an idea of what LetaBot has. Several barracks. You know, maybe this is one thing you can optimize, is building placement. But it's got to be pretty hard, because no matter where you spawn is where you have to kind of, you know, get a feel for the layout and lay out these buildings. Instead, you could just say, build in your main, you know, these buildings. So the starport once again completed, and I love this. We're gonna see the battle cruiser technology one more time. The main has already been mined out, the natural has been mined out, and we're seeing at 4 bases. A 5th base was taken out, so LetaBot does expand more. But the problem is, ever since that 5th base was taken out, there hasn't been any thought process of saying, let's take another 5th. Well, just a circle down at the bottom right here. We will see that. We're going to see the battlecruiser soon. Where is it? Did it get finished? No, battlecruisers take so long to complete. Just trying to make sure we get a good gauge of the units that are going to be moving across the map over to this bridge location here. More Marines, no medics, gonna die very shortly. One more time here. 1-1 Marines again. They're gonna lose to the 2-2 of Zergling forces. Are there still more upgrades coming along? I think that's been halted basically because the income is so low for MPA Steven, who's just not getting very much income. But he is continuing to build 3 colonies. Gotta give him a hand for that. So latency issues are supposed to affect the battlecruiser also, but let's see how good this battlecruiser AI is as it does make its way across the map. Another line of forces macroing across this map here, and the constant engagement from LetaBot are surely going to wear down the Zerg player, MPA Steven, who has somehow made it this far in the game. Oh, now a huge tank survival here. If the tank can get itself in a good position, right here, right here. Do it. No! No! Are you too close? Tank! No! Okay, maybe if he's able to take out this sunken colony here, then that would be okay. Not bad. Oh, but he does lose the tank here. It does go down, but there's a decent amount of Marine forces here. The supply down to 14. What happened to all the drones? How come the drones got killed off? So 9 drones now, dropping down to 8. Where is our battle cruiser? No. Oh, and he burrows the drones. I want to see this battle cruiser. Where did it go? I can't even see it on the map anymore. hasn't made it quite here yet. Oh, it's been lost forever. I saw it go over here. I saw it. I saw it, guys. I did. I promise. It's around here somewhere. Probably floating off into weird stuff. I should never write an AI next time. Or I should write an AI next time. Sorry, I read that backwards. That is awesome. And LetaBot dropping down the knowledge. Make sure it compensates for latency. Obviously a huge problem there. Okay, the BC died at the main. Oh, that's so sad. I'm sorry I didn't show that for you guys. I should have been paying attention a little bit better. Just watching, obviously, the natural base here. Okay, and at this point, a late GG. We're going to speed this up. And mpasteven, he should be proud of himself. Lasting 26 minutes in this game is a huge accomplishment here. And look at all the medics! 29 medics! Oh my god, this gets so much better. I love it. I love it. And Steven even says your AI likes wasting medics. Oh, that's awesome. Look at this cluster of overlords over here too. GG! That's gonna be it for game number 4. Alright guys, that is going to be the conclusion of today. This is just day number 1. There will be a day number 2 with more bots and humans coming into competitiveness. So let's go ahead and look at the stat difference here. Actually, more units for mpasteven. How about that? More units. But look at the resource count. Just crushing amount of resources and a crushing amount of structures. But that macro from Steven, he's a baller. Alright guys, so we do see that we have, oh, I actually, I'm sorry that you couldn't see the entire mpasteven thing here on the chat, or on the screen here. I needed to make it bigger and put it at the front, unfortunately. Let's see. mpasteven. Didn't even get the name right. So, Man vs. Machine Tour, sponsored by Star Apple. Guys, I thank you so much for listening to me. I am BisuDagger, and I will do one more preview of what the Star Apple sponsorship means. It's for a big IT recruit. It is the biggest IT recruitment agency from the Netherlands, and they're a perfect match for you and your skills if you do have them. So even if you don't, mediocre IT skills, go for it anyway. So I'm telling you, Star Apple will make it happen for you. Now, Riddles.io and the AI games are for those of you who want to code and make really interesting code, whether it's Riddles.io for programming competitions from education to business level stuff, or you want to code your own AI games, Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe, 4 in a row, AI Block Battle, Texas Hold'em, Warlight AI Challenge, Heads Up Omaha. And all of those games right there, you could play, you could program at the AI games if you want to, or of course do StarCraft 1. Once again, give a big shout out to LetaBot, who is able to help throw this tournament together, give me the replays. And if you guys need to hear me cast again, I'll be back on Thursday. Actually, no, I won't be here to cast Thursday because I am leaving out of town Thursday.